Hey friends, thanks so much for joining me for this Chaturanga Breakdown. Chaturanga or high to low plank is something we do so often in our yoga classes, and oftentimes during class, there isn't the time to break it down and really practice the skills and the technique necessary to do it safely. And of course, we do it because we do it so often that repetitive motion, if we're not using the proper form, can easily lead to injury the longer and longer you're in your yoga practice. And so let's break it down to make sure we're all doing it safely and taking care of our bodies. So we always start in high plank for our chaturanga. Also going to offer some variations as we go along. So in your high plank, press down into your fingers, really spread them out wide. Push down into your finger pads, so much so that your palms almost lift up. That's called Hasta Bandha or hand lock. And it helps to create a really nice, strong, stable base. Spread your toes out wide again to create some stability and support. Now hug in energetically with the inline of your legs to add to that support and create a strong base so you're not dumping into your shoulders. Hug your belly up and in, and then spiral your triceps back. See how that changed the posture? Now really push down to punch up through your shoulder blades. Here we usually inhale. Oh, and rather, a variation right here that you can start with as you're building strength, it's actually just come down to your knees. And that is not a easier version necessarily. This is just a version for if you are working to build strength in your shoulders, it will help you with that. So from high plank, inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down to 90 degrees. Again, hug your belly up and in. Squeeze your elbows into your sides. Long spine. Send the crown of your head forward. And then inhale, upward facing dog. Flip to the tops of your feet. Lift your heart forward. Really shine through your collarbones. And here it's also really important to squeeze in your core, really ignite your core and knit your ribs together. And you can draw your shoulders back, but don't do it so exaggerated, especially without tightening your core, as that can really compact your lower vertebrae and eventually create injury in your low back. So I like to say gaze forward rather than gaze up, because gazing up can kind of create that exaggeration a little bit more. And exhale, downward facing dog. Press into your palms and send your hips up and back. Beautiful job, everyone. Another variation that you can do as you're building strength is from high plank. You can just go right into downward facing dog. And if you take the knee variation, once you shift forward, bring your toes together if you like, but just draw your heels towards your glutes, shift forward, and then lower down. You want to keep your shoulders in line with your knees. So create that long line of energy. And then inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your thighs off the mat. Press your feet down, tops of your feet down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Another really important tip as you do this is to keep your hips in line with your shoulders all the way through from high plank, all the way as you shift forward and then down into your mid plank or low plank. And that is going to help just really keep that long spine and keep the proper alignment so that you're not overusing certain areas. Okay, now that we've broken it down, let's take a chaturanga together and take your preferred variation, of course. So make your way to high plank, option to take your knees. Okay, spread your fingers out wide. Push down into your finger pads to lift through your shoulder blades. See how that kind of like domes out your shoulders a little bit? That's what you want. Squeeze your legs together. Really push down into your toes. Hug your belly up and in. Inhale, shift forward. Lower down, mid-plank. Squeeze your elbows in. Lift your belly up towards your spine. Inhale, upward facing dog. Flip to the tops of your feet. Keep your thighs lifted off the mat. Again, really engage your core as you slightly draw your shoulders back, gaze forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. And flip to the bottoms of your feet. Push your hips up and back. Again, keep your belly lifted up and in. Spiral your triceps back to open through your shoulders. Yeah, keep your ears in line with your biceps. And take any movements in your downward facing dog that feel good. Give yourself a little treat. Amazing job, everyone. Thanks for joining me for your Chaturanga Breakdown. And I hope that helps and gets you a little more safely through your high to low planks.